Welcome to Work Worth Doing, the podcast for people who don't just show up to work, they show up for change. I'm Peta Cox, and this series is about the work that sustains us, not just financially, but mentally, emotionally, and in the way it supports the life we want to live. Today I'm joined by Tam. She's a CPA, financial coach, and founder of Sense and Solutions. Tam works with women and business owners who are passionate about what they do, but who were never taught how to truly understand or manage their money, which is really, really important if you want to start a business. So her belief is simple and powerful. Everyone deserves to feel confident and capable when it comes to their finances, without being overwhelmed, judged, or talked down to. So in this conversation, we explore what financial wellness really means, how financial literacy reduces stress and improves decision making, and why understanding your money is about far more than profit. I got in trouble for that the other day.
Yeah. What?
We'll go into that. It's about calm confidence and control in business and in life. So this is an honest, practical conversation for anyone who loves their work but wants their business to feel more sustainable and less stressful. Thank you for joining me, Tam.
Oh, thank you for having me, Peter. I'm really, really excited to be here. Thank you for giving me that opportunity.
You're welcome. So before we go into me asking questions and we sort of go into the nitty gritty stuff, just introduce yourself, give everybody just a little bit of background of sort of where you started, how you got to where you are today, and a little bit about your business.
Yeah, of course. So I've been an accountant, as you mentioned, a CPA for last more than 15 years or so. Always been in the finance roles from an assistant accountant to the last role I finished as a financial controller. I worked across various industries as well: construction, retail, defense, energy. So I've got a quite variety of industry experience, to say that, which is quite helpful when I started my own business. So I started Sense and Solutions based. So I'll tell you my story, how it all came about. My sister, who runs a business in the US, she would give me a call when it was tax returns in the US, and she was like, "Oh, can you do my P&L? Can you do my balance sheet? Can you teach me? Or like, I don't know, I need to file this to my tax accountant.
Yeah.
And because you're an accountant, can you do it for me?" And obviously, she's my sister, so I would help her out here and there, and obviously do her tax returns and prepare her financials. That led me to the thinking that she is running a business. She was making profit, but she was stressed all the time. She didn't understand a single thing on the P&L. She didn't understand her balance sheet at all. It was very new to her. So that gave me the opportunity to go out and actually start talking to business owners. And when I started talking to small business owners, especially women, as we've talked about,
Yep.
I saw that my sister was not alone. There are a lot of women and small businesses, irrespective men or women, are struggling with this. They get the idea, very, very, very passionate about what they do. They know exactly, for example, my sister, she exactly knew what she wanted to sell, who she wanted to sell, but she wasn't sure about the pricing. She wasn't sure about the profit. She wasn't sure about the revenue. All she was doing was draining herself into the business to just get more revenue,
Yeah.
without realizing the fact that at the end of the year, she was still making losses. So obviously that got me to thinking, and after doing my market research and talking to various people, everyone was on the same boat, and they were struggling, and they're just living a business as another job.
Yeah. Yep. So that's where sort of it came into you sort of
Correct. So
starting up your own.
I started thinking about starting my own business, and I said, "Oh, I don't want to be any other accounting firm who goes and do just the tax returns at the end of the year, but I actually wanted to make an impact, teach people how to actually read their P&L, what are the signs of the key indicators on your balance sheet that you need to look at? Accounting is a very, very historical process. So in the world that we're living in, we have to be like proactive. We have to be, we have to actually not reactive, but proactive, because otherwise you're just looking at the old historical figures. And I'm not saying those historical figures doesn't give you anything, but it just doesn't solve the purpose that you're in right now. So a lot of business owners talk to their accountant once a year, but they make decisions every day.
Yeah.
So he's helping them out with those decisions. They're not calling up their accountants, and the accountants are not picking up the phone and say, "Oh, I've got time for you today, so let's have a conversation for 2 hours how your pricing would be." I would love to see that happening in the industry. A lot of accountants should be doing that, but unfortunately what I see is it's not happening. So that's where Sense and Solution comes in, where we empower people to actually take control of their business, to understand the numbers, and then run it as a business, which causes less stress, less anxiety, and they can actually make those everyday decisions. So that's what Sense and Solutions is all about.
Yeah, because a lot of people who start businesses don't have any training in that side of it whatsoever.
Absolutely.
As you said, they're the expert in their field. They're the subject matter expert in whatever they do. I've had conversations about this before, about surveyors, starting up a business because they think, oh, I can make all of this money, and then not realise all of the costs that go involved and how you should charge out, and what's coming in, what's going out, your insurances, your superannuation, your taxes, all of that kind of stuff. So
Absolutely correct. And I've seen that not just in construction surveying, but across every industry. A lot of people come out and they want to do, and when they come out, there could be different reasons why they're coming and starting out their own businesses, right? Everyone has their own purpose and their reasons for that. But having that financial literacy as a foundation is the most important for, building that business and for making it sustainable.
Yeah. So when we talk about financial wellness, what does financial wellness really mean for a business owner? How do they, we talk about financial wellness, but people don't even know what that means.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a good question. A lot of people confuse financial wellness by their success and their wealth accumulation. That's what financial wellness means to a lot of people. But unfortunately, it's not that. It's about how you understand your emotions with money.
Right.
How successfully you manage your money. How much literate you are around money.
Right.
That's the total financial wellness is. And it also includes a lot of other components as well, like your physical health and your mental health as well. But a lot of financial wellness is about your emotions. Like, well, if I ask you a question, imagine money is a person. If it walks into your door today, how would you react?
I'd be happy if I had money walking in my door at the moment.
Exactly. So a lot of people would be happy, right? So how would you treat it as a guest? You'll be excited. You'll be like, yeah, come on in. And a lot of people, so that means you're having that relationship. You're not scared of it. A lot of people do feel scared. They avoid the numbers. They're like, my family never had enough money. So that's just because their emotions with money is already negative.
Right.
So how they can actually move forward to make it a positive relationship.
Yeah. Okay. That's when you sort of think about it that way. I've never really thought about it in that sense.
Exactly.
When we sort of look at that.
And your emotions doesn't just come up automatically. They are like ingrained in our childhood experiences or, as an adult as well. Like there's a lot of emotions. Money is all about emotions. Whether it's visual or whether it's a business, whatever business decision you take, you based on the emotions that you had with money. It's
interesting.
Very. And that's talk about it.
It's like, no, it never gets talked about in that sense.
Yes.
I know a lot of people who are running their businesses and are very stressed about the money.
Exactly, because if you talk to them and ask them the question, how was their relationship with money going when they were a child? 90% or 80% would say not that great.
Yeah. Wow.
And that flows through into their business as well.
Yeah. How do you change that?
Changing by a simple mindset.
Mm-hmm.
And that mindset is believing that whatever belief I have right now is not solving my purpose. This is the time to change it. This is the time to make it more effective. And then think about the purpose of the goals that you really want to achieve.
Yeah.
Not just talking about like monetary goals. It's as simple as giving it a simple example, right? If someone is I was talking to this business owner once, right? She wanted to grow her business, and to grow her business, she had to spend some money, as we all have to, and actually get that enough return on investment. But when she was raised in a family where they would not spend a lot of money. So she was always scared of the fact that, if I'm going to spend that money, I'm going to lose it because I'm not sure if my business is going to work or not. And she ended up spending that money to grow her business.
Right.
That's not because she didn't have the money. She had the money, but she did not have that, that trust in the money that could do to her business. Rather, because she believed that, if I spend this money, I will not have enough, kind of held her business growth back. So simple mindset shift. Write down the belief that you're thinking. What I do is like I write down, if I go say spend on anything that I think I want to spend my money on, I'll think, if I have two doubts, I'm asking that question, should I or shouldn't I? I write down why shouldn't I?
Mm-hmm.
Then that gives me a clear indication of, I'm doing this because my mum always used to do that. Or I'm doing that because I was taught that. Or I was never taught that. Most of the cases, you're not even taught about money.
Yeah. And so if you're running a business and you're needing to buy capital or put it into education or professional development or things like that, and you're kind of going, I don't really want to spend that money, what's it really going to give me or whatever, doing that simple task of what you're going to get out of it.
Absolutely.
Your return on your investment sort of thing.
Absolutely. And also it changes your mindset that you're spending that money with a purpose, not just going and spending it. Yeah. There's a purpose behind it. And a lot of people, like even individuals, we all struggle because we are all fascinated by the marketing world and all the discounts and everything. So we go to the shopping center and we are supposed to buy 2 things. We ended up buying 10 things, right? Because we do that without purpose.
Yep.
So if you spend your money, you do it with a purpose, you'll be okay to spend even $100,000 on yourself because there's a purpose behind it.
Yeah, makes sense. So we were sort of started off with that, passion and subject matter expert compared to business. I know most surveyors going through their degrees and stuff have no real education on the business side and financial side and stuff. So over your career, you would have worked with people who were really excellent at what they do, right? Never taught how to run a business. What challenges do you see most often sort of in our construction sort of area for businesses?
With my experience that I have seen, obviously the first, as you say, a lot of people don't have that education because no one's ever taught that, which is that there's no, like you can go and do a course at university which will cost you $50,000 to do that before you even start your business. And I'm not saying that's not going to be helpful, but what is it going to give you is very limited knowledge. It's going to still give you knowledge, but very limited knowledge. But the biggest thing that I see is as basic as a cash flow, right? People think that revenue equals profit, which is absolutely correct.
Yep.
And then they don't understand how much the money comes in. what time the money comes in, how they need to allocate it. And especially in the construction industry, we go through a phases, right? It's like sometimes we'll have the project, sometimes we won't. And even like when we have the projects, like when are we doing the invoicing? Is it on time? Are we receiving the money on time? They're actually doing their forecasting, which a lot of businesses do now because they understand a bit of forecasting in their business. But I feel they still miss the purpose, because what they're doing is they're doing forecasting on the basis of their revenue earned rather than cash received. Revenue, cash received are two different things. You could have a revenue of 5 million if you sign up a job, which obviously say a year or 18 months long project. So your progress claims is divided, right? But receiving that money could not necessarily happens in 60 days or 30 days. It varies. So understanding that concept, understanding then how much do you actually have and how much you can actually spend. Because what a lot of people do, we have earned a project of $5 million, so we can actually go and hire another person at $200K. Without realizing they're not receiving that $5 million straight away right now. So I think it's one of the biggest things people don't realize. They just think, revenue is equal, like I'll get the money straight in. It doesn't work like that.
And profit and loss and everything coming into that as well.
Exactly. So another thing is obviously understanding that education piece of like being able to see your financials. First, preparing your financials on a monthly basis consistently, and then reading them, being the ability to read and understand, okay, how much profit am I making from this project, or how much margin do I have? Is it even sustainable? Is it not sustainable? Are we losing money out of this project? So again, it goes back to pricing. How are you pricing? What your labor cost is. So the biggest challenge is understanding these numbers. Once a business understands these numbers, it's easy for them to see it on paper. Is it easy for them to see, okay, project A did not give us the profitability that we were expecting or the cash that we were expecting, and project C has given us what we were not expecting. So then they can make wise decisions based on data and understanding rather than just guesswork. Let's get more projects in. Let's just get more people in. And that not necessarily give you the outcome that you're after.
So when you sort of talk about that and looking at that, and you've got these business owners going, okay, we'll charge this person out at this much and that should cover it, and we'll charge, this job out at this much. When you're starting a business, not realizing what all of the output is, like, tax. How much tax, so a lot of people don't sort of think, I'll charge, let's say, a single business person, as even a sole trader. Let's look at a sole trader and go, okay, I'm going to charge myself out at $180 an hour, $200 an hour, whatever it may be. If I'm a sole trader, I've got to think about, am I charging GST? Because what services am I giving? Do I need to charge that? Do I need to collect that? Can I do it without GST? When I get that money in, how much tax do I need to set aside? How much money do I think I'm going to make this year? Which may change how much tax you need to collect, put aside. Are you paying for your own super? All those sorts of things. So you think, yeah, great, I'm getting $200, dollars an hour. And in reality, it's probably, 80, 90 by the time you take out your taxes and your GST part of it and your superannuation payments and all of that sort of stuff. And a lot of people don't realise that. That's just a sole trader.
Yes, absolutely. You're very correct, because unfortunately how a sole trader works, or they think that them and the business are the same, right? So that what they do, what the mindset they usually, or I have seen, is that they will base their costing or pricing on the amount that they want to survive. So they will say, I need $10,000 to survive today. So I just need 10 people to give me that $10,000.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So that's how. So what the pattern is, they're looking for one client to give you that money, or say multiple clients to have that money, rather than sticking it to, I'm worth $500 an hour or X amount, whatever dollars an hour, and I need to go out and this is my cost, and I need to get to the people who actually truly value my service at
Yeah.
price. So that's the distinction, which is really important. And I see a lot of small traders get trapped into, because they don't, like, for them, it's just about survival.
Yeah.
And then when they see the money in one bank account, it is proven by psychology as well, right? So when you see a lump sum in your account, you just feel it's yours. You forget the fact that it's actually not yours.
Yeah.
So that's where, like, I'm a member of a profit first organization as well. So where we actually teach business owners that you have separate bank accounts for each of these. For example, tax liability, GST liability. So whatever amount you receive, for example, you've got 100,000, then you're actually taking a portion out already, and then and that includes paying yourself first.
Yeah.
A lot of businesses don't even do that, especially the sole traders sometimes don't do that. Or they're like, oh, I'll just pay myself minimum wage, or, I won't pay myself super until my business starts coming up. And that never happens,
Yeah.
because they're just continuously relying on one client. They're relying on one, so it's a very, it's a burnout approach. And they do tend to burn out at the end.
Yeah.
A lot of, because they're just relying on the next invoice, on the next client. So it's not, if they know. So, and that's why the forecasting comes very handy for small businesses and especially sole traders, because they need to map out exactly how much I need to pay myself, how much I need to pay taxes based on that, and how much I need to pay GST, and how much I need to actually pay on my expenses.
Yeah.
So the profit first model is actually based on that, all of those components first, so that you always have a profit. So as I said initially, so in accounting, you say revenue minus expenses equal profit. But with profit first, you're actually changing the definition to revenue minus profit is equal your expenses.
Yeah. Okay.
What that means is you have control of your expenses. You have a consistent profit. So it's all about the mindset shift.
Yeah.
And then when you have that consistent profit, then you have consistent tax to pay, and which could be very less, or it could be more, depending on what your revenues or what your profit figure is. But your mindset is that you're actually putting that money aside for it to happen, because when the tax time comes a year, you're not panicking. The money's already there for you.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think it's separating those and understanding that it's not, whatever's in the account, it's not all yours right now.
Yeah. And in those small businesses, or in that construction or surveying and that, those sort of businesses where they start up small, you've seen a fair bit of that?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. A lot. And that's why, like, even the stats show, and this is a general stat, not on the construction industry, but like the small businesses fell in for the first 5 years, and these are one of the main reasons. Like cash flow is one of the main reasons, and and it all starts with pricing, right? If you're not pricing correctly, you're not making money, you're not making profit, and then at the end you're just sort of in the survival mode, and then you burn out, and then you're like, nah, I'm better off getting a job back. I don't want to do this anymore.
Yeah. If you've got a small business and you get these sort of contracts where they're going 60 days or payment at completion or things like that, you sort of really need to think about how that's going to affect your business and your living and stuff, and sort of go, okay, well, no, in our contract we have milestones or part payments throughout or something, so that you can sustain.
Absolutely.
Going through. Yeah.
It's all about knowing. It's about having the knowledge of where money is coming in when you're invoicing, because that's important as well. If you keep doing work and you're actually not invoicing, the money is not coming in, but you're actually doing the work. So how are you going to survive? How are you going to be able to pay your bills? So I suggest people or business owners to actually spend some time on reading their financials to understand who's giving you the money and what terms they're giving you. Looking at the contract, reading it as well, because reading a contract is super important, and changing it as well if it doesn't meet your needs.
Yeah.
Then have a conversation, negotiate.
Yeah. Which basically comes down to that financial literacy in your decision making and stuff.
And the more financial literate you are, the more confident you are in your decision making. And then you can go and demand your terms.
Yeah.
And people will respect that.
Yeah. But there's a lot of people out there who think that they can't do that because they just need to get the job to get the money.
Exactly. And that's why, unfortunately, it all comes down to that confidence of having that financial literacy. If you are confident, you know that you can actually make money, you will know yourself for it.
Yep.
And at times it does come down to survival. And I'm not saying that it doesn't happen in real world. It does happen in real world, right? But it's just we got to be having that, again, goes back to the mindset of having that positive emotions with money, that you're like, that's okay. This is just a phase. It'll go away and I will get my money back, or I'll get more money, or I'll, whatever. So it's about having that belief, that mindset shift as well, which is super, super, super important, whether you're a business or an individual, in regards to your emotions with money.
Yeah. And that all comes back to sort of the stress that you end up getting running that business comes down to that money side, not understanding it, not having it because you don't understand it.
Absolutely.
It's just that big
deal,
isn't it? Let's just keep going around in that circle.
Yeah. And
How do we jump on?
It's funny. It sounds like that, but it's actually it's pretty easy. And I'm not saying because I come from that world, but it's just that understanding money, like even in your daily life, and you're spending, going out money or budgeting for your family and things like that, you're doing the same thing as well. A lot of people do budgets, their expenses and all of that. So it's literally doing the same on a more confident and better scale for your business. Because at the end, your individual personality also affects your business and vice versa.
Yeah.
You can't run a business if you're stressed. Your employees will all know the business will be stressful.
Yeah. Yeah. So that sort of leads to that calm, confidence, control of the business owner, or having somebody in that position within the company that can do that, to explain it to the business owner as well. It doesn't always, business owner should know all of that sort of stuff, but there are people out there that know and understand it very well and can manage that.
Yeah, exactly.
And sometimes it's useful to get that person in to help you, step you through it, structure things and stuff like that, if you really don't have that nous of understanding of any of that money business side.
I completely agree with you, and I think sometimes we need that professional help, and that professional help actually help you to be a better person and a better leader, because we all want to be good leaders in our organizations, and the message that you send as a leader will flow down to your whole business, and it affects a lot. As you know, leadership is the most important thing. Like if you have, if I remember in my, there was one of our leaders who would panic and stress, and the whole office would know.
Yeah.
So what's happening in the team? We all were stressed. And then we got a leader who was like, yeah, we'll deal with it. Don't worry. Let's sit down and get it to action. It changed the dynamic straight away because he was more confident. He knew that's a cyclical, like it's going to happen. And even like now, a lot of people are scared about AI, for example. It's going to happen. It is happening. It's not. It's happening. And
Yeah.
exactly, it is happening. So rather than avoiding or be part of it, embracing it is how it's going to be better for us. And
Mm.
but individuals or organizations doesn't really matter, but it's going to be part of us. So rather than running away from it, learning how we can actually do better. And it can actually do really good things in our business and our personal lives as well. So, especially in talking in terms of finance, like when I was doing junior reconciliations, when I was at junior positions, like I would have loved a system to do everything, automatically, and I would only have to analyze it.
Yep.
So we have the ability to do now. Like finance team, so much task, such a big percentage goes into manual reconciliations when it's not even required. Like you
Yeah.
can do it on a tick of a button now.
Yeah.
So, we got to embrace the technology to actually get the benefits out of it. So I feel like that change is very important for that business owner to actually build a sustainable business.
Yeah. So you talk about leadership. Should leaders keep their teams involved in parts of it so that they understand the why?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Big believer of that. Big, big, big. And that is the best approach.
Mm-hmm.
You tell them why you're doing it, what's the purpose behind it, and everyone contributes.
Yep.
And also, like if you're a leader who has got a really good financial literacy, and that's my goal that I want to do at different businesses as well, is actually promote that financial well-being in the organizations. Because a lot of people don't have, like they'll just come there and they'll do the job or whatever. They're exposed to a little bit of numbers or whatever their role is, but teaching financial literacy to people in the business, because think about like every person who's involved in the business is actually running a sub business in your business,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
So teaching them that financial literacy actually helps the whole business. And so giving them the knowledge, giving them the confidence, giving them the clarity, why are we doing this? What's the purpose for this? And then it just creates a different culture as well. And give them so much confidence for the employees to actually do that meaningful work that we all want them to do.
Yeah. Do you think that leaders or business owners who know and understand this more take more risks?
Absolutely. 100%. They are not afraid because their risk was calculated. They know numbers. They know what they're going into. They have more clarity. They have more decision making. So, like all the decisions are based on their clear goals, their clear output. They're not going to go in there and do a guesswork or base their decisions on emotions, which a lot of people do tend to do that. But if you see leaders like, you name the leaders, go and see their history. Every one of them had a financial literacy course or they had a financial literacy knowledge. They're not, they're not just running businesses on. They may not be the expert in that. That's what hired the people, but they know the basics. So I'm not saying that the business owner needs to go to the uni to be an accountant. No, they need to understand what the accountant is doing is correct, because that's when they can question them. Because accountant, like they'll use their own or their bookkeeper, whoever, they only have that knowledge. They don't have the knowledge of the business. A business owner has the knowledge of their own business. So having that communication and asking those right questions is super important. And when a leader has that, then you will see the ripple effect of that. Because then you know that your leader knows the numbers, they know exactly where the business needs to go, they know exactly how to move. They may not know how, but they know exactly where they want to see the business.
Yeah.
If it's in terms of revenue, they know exactly that, okay, the business needs to earn X amount of revenue in X amount of time. And how do we do that? Do we need to hire another person? What are our costs? Are we able to afford it? Are we not able to afford it? Again, going back to the pricing, how are we pricing?
Yeah. Yeah.
So it all comes down to, again, having that importance of knowing those numbers rather than just looking at the historical P&L and say, oh, okay, we have not done anything. Like, what has happened here?
Yeah. What do you think these businesses need to do or to understand to use that model that you were talking about of having knowing what you need to survive and to survive to be happy? I know there's a lot of companies that, you know, when they start up, they don't pay themselves and they don't charge correctly because they don't understand everything that's involved. What do they need to do, or who would they need to speak to, or, you know, how do they go about doing it right? Getting
Yeah,
it right. I mean, it's not going to be right first go. It never is. And you're always learning and you're always growing. But getting that foundation right, how do they do that?
I think having that foundation right, the first thing is go and speak to a professional. When you're talking, when you're engaging in an accountant, don't just have a, have a contact with them once a year.
Mm-hmm.
Have regular conversations. Ask them the questions.
Mm-hmm.
And if they're obviously not entertaining you, time to move into another account and find a better professional person, right? That's the first step, because when you start, everyone thinks, oh, I need an accountant, and they'll just go to any accountant without realizing what is their purpose of their business, and their accountant, are they even expert in that business?
Yep.
That's step number one, right? Having the right people, that's right support is super important.
Mm-hmm.
Secondly, is also reading go and read a blog for that person, read a book. There are so many books in financial literacy out there. Choose what relies with you, make so all that education really helps you build that. And then I'm not, again, talk to people.
Yeah.
Talk
So
to
networking.
business owners, how they did it, what was missing in their business when they started. Like, I'll give you an example of one of my clients. She's running a business, and she was an HR person who had no idea of running a business, who never knew. She knows that, yes, she's got a really good customer service and she loves food, so she's gone into a restaurant business. But realized very quickly when she was in the business, that if she doesn't know her numbers, she's not going to survive longer or sustain. So she's come for help. She's like, can you teach me? Can you educate me? So people need to understand where they lack at as well, which is very important. Some people feel that, I'll go into ChatGPT, put stuff in there and learn it. But yeah, you might get some information, but you're not going to get all the information specific to your business, because every business model is different. Every business purpose is different. So I feel don't feel that shame around money. Be open, go and talk and say, I'm not making money. And that's okay. You're just starting it out. So building that knowledge with the group of people that you can rely on, that support, is super important. Like, give my example, yes, I know about finance and stuff when I started my business, but I'm not a marketing person. I need marketing help. So I went to the marketing experts. I talked to people. I formed a group of my cohort, and I go and see them, and I ask them questions like, okay, this is working, this is not working. I didn't just go to an agency to do my marketing for me, because I need to understand first how it all works. I'm reading marketing books. I'm not, I was always a finance girl, but now running a business, like you, unfortunately, we have to wear all the hats in our business.
Jack of all trades. Jill of all trades.
but and at times it can be very overwhelming, and I'm not saying I'm a marketing expert. I can never be, but then that's where I delegate as well.
Yes.
Got an intern working for me now, intern in marketing, so I'm getting her help. Great. So, so things like that. And I didn't plan that. That just happened because I spoke to people. I showed them my, my pain points. I showed them, like, this is where I struggle. I know it, and can you help me? And mostly people will help you.
Who did you go to though? Who did you know? Was it people that you had seen that had good marketing styles of what you wanted, or was it just people that you knew, or like how do you go and find the people that you need?
For me, it was through networking events.
Mm-hmm.
It was through networking events, and it's not just one event. I went to quite a few. So then I connected with people, and again, like I probably would have met 10,000 more marketing people, but some people you don't connect with.
Yes.
We don't share the same values,
Yeah.
and that's okay.
It's important.
Exactly. So then I have to choose the people who actually I could connect with.
Mm-hmm.
And then I see, okay, what's the opportunity here? And that's when you kind of build a rapport, you build a connection. And going back to when you start new, you can't trust everyone, and that's okay. But I'm sure when you are a business owner, you actually do meet a lot of people.
Yeah.
You do go out there. You meet, there are so many small business owners communities out there as well. One may
And
not.
that's what you suggest, a small business or a business networking kind of thing, and not
Absolutely.
just solely in the sector that you're working in.
Exactly.
You get a wider array of how people do things differently.
Absolutely. And you yeah, exactly right. Because from different people you get different ideas.
Yeah.
And some may work for your business, some may not. So you discover what doesn't work, you keep what works. And again, like when you're in the business, when you're into it a year or two, then you know even better about your business, what actually is working and what actually is not working. What do I need to, again, going back to my client, she now, after we have built the analysis on the numbers, based on the numbers, now she knows exactly what product is not giving her enough profit. Why she's wasting time on it, so she needs to discard it. So that's the decision we've come up with, that she's not going to put that item on the menu because that's least popular and it's still taking a lot of time and cost and effort. So what's more giving her more profit is what we're going to put in and take the stuff which is not being that opportunity for her to grow her business.
So someone in a small surveying business might decide that laser scanning is the way to go because they understand it, they've got all the right software, they've got the people that can do it efficiently, but still collect the right data, whereas doing construction is an unknown to them.
I would say so, yes. I think it all depends on your data, how you actually collect it. There's so many, it's all about people spend so much money on different softwares and all to get that data. But if that data is good, if that data is you can rely on, that's your best bet. You go from there. If that data does not give any value, or it's just that's the time to also see that, okay, it's not giving me, so I'm investing this much in the software and it's not giving me any purpose. So that's your time to actually think about it and say, do I really need to spend this money on this software or on this tool or equipment, whatever it would be in your business, right? Then make a decision, because having that, reducing your cost will also give you more profit, right? So it's about thinking, okay, what's working, what's not working, how do we do this? So it's all about, again, comes back to that numbers.
Yeah. Do you think that in a small business it would benefit them by actually hiring equipment for a while to see?
Absolutely. Rather than if it's starting business, absolutely. You rent it and then you see what benefit you're getting, and then you actually make a decision whether it's actually worth buying that and what's the return on that investment on that equipment. Because at the end, you've got to see what's actually bringing you revenue. Like what revenue it's going to be, how much is it going to be? So a lot of businesses think, like especially in construction and say surveying and stuff, they'll go heavy on the tools and everything. I need this, I need that. Like let's get this, let's get that. But if you don't have work, what are you going to do with all those tools?
Yeah, it's a big outlay to start. Yeah, and if they haven't factored in that return on investment and how long it's going to take to pay it off, then It's not just the job costs this much, so it's going to take me X amount of months or years to pay it off, because you've got all of the other
Absolutely.
costs involved, which sometimes aren't understood.
Absolutely.
Have you seen a lot of burnout in companies starting up because of the finance side?
Yeah. Yeah. As I said, like, one of the biggest reasons is cash flows. People are not able to have money in their account, and that they're not able to pay themselves. Like, that's one of the biggest reasons of businesses failing, because they don't have that financial literacy. They just are they hear, oh, people are making millions of dollars on YouTube, let's do that. They're not thinking there's a lot of still cost involved behind the scenes as well.
Yeah.
They have to buy the camera. They have to do the recording. They have to, for example, if someone needs to work on their voice, they have to get a professional voice coach or whatever it would be to grow their. They need to make a lot of, videos before they can actually go in there.
Maybe I need to go and speak to someone about me.
So
Just thinking, I just constantly say,
and I'm doing it myself. So I had a voice coach, and I'm actually now thinking of going to one level up and doing like an advanced coaching.
Oh, wow.
And I thought, like, because that's how I want my business to be, and that's the path I need to take. And again, it's about professional development. It's going to cost me a lot of money, but that was the return on investment. Again, I know so it's all about having that. But will I just go, like, in the first month, will I go and do that? Probably not.
Yeah.
Will I wait and see how my business is doing, what my clients want, or what I want from a business is the most important, right? If I want my business to actually have a voice, yes, absolutely, I probably need that. I'm not being into the voice speaking or public speaking, then that's the skill I need to develop.
Yeah.
And similar to what your business needs, what you need, and then assessing that, okay, again, like, is it giving me that value or is it giving me that stress?
Yep. So really important sort of takeaway, if you're looking at starting a business or you're in a business, what do you want out of it?
Purpose is the most important.
What is your purpose? Why are you doing it? How are you going to achieve it? So think about what it is, put it down on paper, how you're going to do it, what it's going to cost you to get that, what you want to make out of it. All of those sorts of things you really need to think about when you're looking at your business.
Absolutely. And paying yourself. A lot of people, a lot of business, like, especially when we start our life, we say, oh, I don't need to pay myself just yet. No, you are spending time in your business. You are a cost to the business.
Yeah.
And if you have that financial literacy, you will actually understand that your time is the cost of the business. So you're actually doing a lot in papers, like when we talk about company, why we separate to the business. We're not liable, right? It's the company's liable. So there's a reason for that, because even though we are related in reality, but we still are separate, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Because you got to understand your self-worth as well to build your business.
Treat yourself as an employee.
Absolutely.
Within it.
Yeah. Absolutely.
How do they go about, let me get this out. How do they go about, you talked earlier about, the ebb and flow, the highs and lows of jobs coming in and stuff like that. How does someone who may have worked for a company but is now starting their own business, how do they, it's the word, I've lost the word. How do they prepare themselves? How do they plan? How do they plan for that? I'll get it out eventually.
Step number one, I would say, start thinking like an entrepreneur or a business owner, not an employee. Get that mindset shift. Second, go back to your money beliefs. Are you a saver? Like, can you save some money to support you for the, say, 6 to 12 months? Because we all know that the first 1 to 2 year of your business is the hard time. And some businesses grow pretty fast and some don't. But in order to be sustainable, your growth has to be, you can't grow like that. Like, you can, but are you going to survive?
Yeah.
Is it going to be sustainable long enough? So a lot of people stop thinking about, like, they'll go straight into, for example, if they have a really bad manager or a bad company they're working in and they're really frustrated, but they don't have any savings in their bank account. I would recommend go and build that buffer, because that buffer will give you the confidence to make decisions. That buffer will not cause you stress, because again, you're aligned with your purpose. So your purpose, like, once you have that financial security, it will help you build that business a bit better way, in a stronger way. So obviously, step number 1, go and treat yourself as an entrepreneur or a business owner, however you want to call it. Get some savings in, and then start reading books. Get knowledge, as I said, speaking to people. Be vulnerable. Tell them the truth. Like, if you're struggling, you're struggling. This is the part you need help with. And there are a lot of supporting groups and communities out there as well who will do that. And then again, a lot is the mindset shift. And how I have done, because how I could do it, or I've done it in my previous life as well. Like, when I went through a few hardships in my life, the only things that I could come out of it, because I had that financial security. I was able to do the things that I wanted to do. I was able to make the decisions based, because I had that buffer. I had that savings. And again, going back to the first point that I started, because when I was a little girl, I always had a very good relationship with money, because that's what I had seen in my mum. That's what I had seen in my family. So I grew up with that mindset. I didn't grow poor. I always had a really good relationship with money, and I still hold that. So I know that irrespective whether I'm going to have 10 clients in 1 month or 1 client in 1 month, that's fine. I'm prepared for that. My mindset is prepared for that. So I have enough buffer for me to go through the hard times. And those hard times will happen. It's part of life. And so just being aware of it and enhancing that opportunity. The hard times can be really hard, but then it teaches you a lot of lessons. I could walk out of a relationship 10 years ago only because I had that some financial security, and I said to myself that it's okay, I'll rebuild it, but I need to be out of this toxic relationship right now to my life. So that security will give you the confidence that you need, especially for women, right? We tend to, in these bad environments, whether it's home or whether it's offices, thinking, oh, I've got 3 kids, I've got mortgages to pay, there's school fees to pay. But everything will fall in place as long as you trust yourself, as long as you have a good relationship, as long as you have a good mindset that it's okay. It's going to be challenging for the first 2 years, but it's going to be better after that. And you start from small. You never go in and just do everything. You start with small. And I'm actually building my business around these saving communities. So what I'm planning to do, I'm actually doing now, is giving the opportunity to individuals to actually start saving, not just giving them the advice, but giving them the methods how they actually save today, so that they can build it.
Okay.
So that's helping the communities who are in distress and stuff like that. So that they can make the decisions that they want to. Have the freedom in your life. At the end, you want that freedom. Money is just a tool for your freedom. And that freedom could be anything to you. Your freedom would be very different to my freedom. My freedom would be very different to someone else's freedom.
Yeah, my freedom would be not to have to work ever again.
There you go. There you go.
Am I going to get there in the next year or two? No, I'm not. Will I?
Maybe but
Jeez, I'll work hard on it.
You may not get in a year or two if you think that, but if you think that, oh, what I'm doing today will lead me to that part, that's it.
Yeah. Yeah. So
And you're
mindset.
doing some great work as well. So, there's
Mm,
like, it's again, of what I've learned, it's all about consistency and doing it.
yeah.
So
Do you
if
think do you think that having a business coach or a personal coach or a
I think
professional
having,
coach or anything?
when you're starting out, having a personal coach is really important.
Hmm.
I wouldn't say a business coach to start with,
Hmm.
because business coach is more useful and helpful when you are at a certain stage in your business.
Yep. Okay.
But get a financial coach or get a financial accountant to
Yep.
help you when you're starting up.
Yep.
That would be your best bet. But then later on the business, how your business is going is when probably you'll need the business coach. I don't recommend people start having a business coach when they're starting up.
Yep.
I wouldn't do that. But having that right community, right people, but having a personal coach before you're even starting or when you're starting is super, super, super helpful.
Yep. Having that personal coach gets you in that right mindset
Absolutely.
to hit certain goals and things like that.
Exactly.
Hmm.
And then when you reach a certain stages, and I'm not saying it should be a continuous process as well. You don't just go and have a coaching for 6 months and stop it. No, we need that support. We need that. We're all humans. We
Yep.
have emotions. We goes up and down and all of that. So someone to have accountability to is very important. Like when I had my personal coach before I became a business owner, helped me tremendously because
Yep.
I was accountable for the things that I had to do. And because I was accountable, I did it.
Yep.
So, and in every phase of our life, we might need different support.
Yep.
Right now, I needed a shift from an entrepreneur, or from an employee to an entrepreneur. Next,
Hmm.
it would be something different. Like if
Yep.
I want to grow my business globally, or if I want to grow my business, naturally, or whatever my
Mm.
goal of the business, and then I might need um, a different person or a different, coach to help me out, or
Yep.
in the community. So I think it changes as per your needs as well.
Yeah. And do you think it's worthwhile for them to seek out mentors who they may look at and think, wow, I love how this person does this. No matter what part of the business or personal it is, that you're having different mentors in different areas to try and get some help off them as well.
Absolutely. They are
Hmm.
one of the best things you can actually have in your life, your mentors, they're game changers. If you have a good
Yep.
mentor, they are game changers.
Yep.
Absolutely. That is one of the best things that you can actually do. And they will help you and support you and guide you. And again, it's about forming the community.
Yeah.
And then and also I would say, don't just get the fancy idea of, oh, this person is really good, I just want to be that person.
Hmm.
You know, choose your mentors carefully. Again, going back to your values and your purpose, because their values could be completely different, even though they're very good on stage or whatever, and you
Hmm.
speak like them, for example. But their values could be very different to what you value.
Yes. Yeah.
So it's choosing the right people. I
Yeah.
felt really important, and choose your time wisely as well. That's
Hmm.
one thing I've learned from my own experience. So which I think is very valuable, because but having mentors is the best thing. You can go and talk to, you can rely on their opinions, and a mentor should be someone who's actually uplifting you.
Yep.
A lot of people go to people and they talk, but they said, oh, they're my mentors, but they said not to do this or not to do that. They're not really your mentors. They're just guiding you or being scared of you or whatever. But
Mm.
it's someone to actually uplift you.
Yeah. Mm. So many different things you sort of need to think about, isn't there, in your
Yeah.
business for it to be successful? Um,
And success, again, has different meanings,
well, true.
right?
Yep.
Again, go back to your values, go back to your why.
Yep.
What success means to you. For someone, it could be having $1 million business. Someone, it could be having $1 million profit, not just the revenue. For some, it could be spending time with my family or their family, things like that. So everyone's definition is different. So write down the definition of what success actually means. Why are you why do you want to have a business? What does it serve you?
What is your why?
Exactly. A lot of businesses, tend to be, they, with excitement and everything, we start really well, but then at the end, it kind of drains you. It stresses. There's a lot of anxiety. You're not able to sleep at night, and then it takes all the energy out of you, and then it's just like a mere job that you don't want to do, but you got all your money invested into. So I just feel people to not try not to do that, and it's very hard to say that, but obviously set boundaries.
Yep.
Super important when you're starting out. A lot of people, I got a lot of advice and stuff like, do this, do that. I'll do what works for me.
Yeah.
Yes, I might learn from them, absolutely. I might learn from trial and error, but again, is it aligning to what I really want to do?
Yeah. It's like having a baby. Everybody tells you the best way to look after that baby.
Yeah, absolutely. And I just feel like having that financial support, that financial knowledge, it's just lifts you as a person, irrespective of your business or not.
Yep. Tell me, before we sort of wrap it all up, how are you're talking about teaching them how to save so that they have that little nest egg?
Yeah.
Can you give me a little?
It's not officially launched yet.
Okay.
Yeah, so unfortunately I can't give you a lot of details, but I will soon be doing that, and that's one of my biggest passions as well, because going back to my childhood, my grandma always used to say to my mum and to us, spend 80%, save 20%.
Yep.
And my mum has never worked ever in her life. She's always been a house mum, like she's all after us. She is the best money manager I've ever seen in my life.
A lot of, when we go back a few generations and stuff, they quite usually are, aren't they? Because
absolutely,
quite often they may not have had a lot of money, but they made that money go a long way.
Exactly.
And you didn't miss anything. You still got everything that was
absolutely right. And that's why I believe that having that right mindset and that right emotions with money makes a big difference, because my mom never had to worry about money. We never had to worry about money. Not that my dad was a billionaire, but we had enough. We always did the things, and she was never worried, or she never even. I hear a lot about when I go to supermarkets and stuff, or talk to mums and stuff, or I see that, observe it. A lot of people, if a kid has picked up something, for example, in the supermarket, the first reaction would be, "Oh no, we can't afford it."
Yes.
If you can't, if you're sending that message to a child, what is he gonna do when he grows up? He's like, "Oh, we can't do that. We can't afford it." Rather than, "Oh, let's maybe not spending $5. Let's do 50 cents or $1. Let's do that."
Yeah.
But I was never, exactly, I was never ever told, ever, I've never heard in my household that, "Oh, we can't afford it." Never. And I'm not saying we got everything, but we technically got everything, whatever we wanted, which was insane. But that does not mean that we were entitled either.
Yeah.
We were never entitled. We had to understand the value of it, but
understand the value,
but we just never had that. Oh no, we're not going to do this because we can't afford it. My mum would always say, like, "Okay, let's do it. Let's go and buy it some other time, or like give us a reasoning behind it, rather than saying a word, 'Oh, we can't afford it.'"
Yeah. Or you can't have that right now. If you do these couple of things and save up that money, then we can come back and get it.
Absolutely. And that's also teaching kids the value for money. Like my 6-year-old or 8-year-old that I'm teaching him right now, like I got him a money book. So you got to start early. And one thing I'm seeing, like, people don't start because they themselves don't know. So it's like, and again, my husband, on the contrary, was raised in an environment where money was always a problem. They never had enough. So his mindset was always, I'm just living day to day check. I don't need money. Money is not part of my life. I don't care. I don't have. I don't care. I will
Yep.
never have. But since we met, things have changed.
Yep.
All he had to do was, not all, like it's a lot of work coming from that mindset to change. And now, like, he's got his own savings, he's got his own, portfolio of investing. He's like, he's educated now.
Yeah.
Previously, it was not his priority. And that has changed himself as a person as well. So, like, and there's no age to that either. Like, anyone can learn if they want to.
Yeah. Well, I think you find with some people when we're looking at businesses and stuff, and when you're especially looking at women wanting to start businesses, sometimes it is women who are a little bit later in life because they have been in the family and then that's broken down and they've gone to do something on their own. They're starting to believe, oh, well, this is what I really want to do. I've looked after kids or whatever, or I've worked and, all that sort of stuff, that they now go, okay, this is what I want to do, but don't have that.
And this is a very good example because when I do workshops, a lot of women come to those workshops just to get that knowledge.
Yep.
And then I saw, and most of the reasons are the same. Like, they've been in the marriage for 30 years, the marriage broke down, and now they want to, they have to be on their own, take care of the kids and think about the school fees or the pensions or, superannuation.
Yeah.
You never even looked at the superannuation, how much money they ever had, sort of things. So it's all about getting educated a bit, as obviously they didn't do it in the past. I'm not saying that's obviously they were never taught because going back to generations ago, it was always men, right? Yeah. So, and some of them still believe in that mindset, but when they shifted the mindset, they're like, oh no, I need to learn this. I need to do this business because I wanted to. And the first thing is having that financial knowledge because again, passion does not survive if it doesn't give you money. You lose it. And at times I've seen people losing it very quickly as well.
Yeah, which is pretty sad.
Exactly. So if you have the fundamentals in place, you have your passion in place, I don't think anyone can stop you.
Mm-hmm. I love it. I love that. Anything else you want to add in there before we finish up?
So I think the most important thing I would just like to say is please go and talk to people, go get professional advice if you need, reach out to financial coaches. There are quite a few in Australia now. They're very little. So, wherever you can get information, read a book. Start with that, as simple as that. If you're not into reading, go to AI and type something. And, at least it'll give you the basic to start with. I wouldn't rely on AI for everything that it says, but at least it's a good starting point.
Yeah, and I'm sure there's probably a lot of podcasts out there as
Absolutely.
well. Wellbeing.
Absolutely. There's plenty out there. But then try and link to your business, to your values, not just whatever, there's information is out there, but how it relates to you. That is very important.
I think when you talk about values, a lot of companies have their values, but they don't live by them.
Yeah, they don't live.
Be really honest with yourself in what your values are.
Absolutely.
Because then you will attract the right clients. It will flow on and be a more harmonious and happy and successful sort of business rather than picking words out and going, this is who we are, when that's not.
Yeah, and also I think putting it down to your employees, show them your values. Why are you doing it? What's the purpose behind it? And, get them involved in the process as well. It's not you writing a value on a piece of paper. It's about getting them involved as well. Get them their opinions, they get their, suggestions and stuff like that, because then it's a part of a team rather than just the leaders doing it.
Yeah, and I love that. I so believe in that sort of business model of, it's not top down.
No.
You're all, yes, you might have different names of, what your positions are and stuff like that, but everybody plays a part in your business.
Absolutely. As I said,
you've got to value everybody.
Everyone is running a sub-business in your business.
Yeah.
Then awesome. they have a place to put, that's why they're there. So use their values, use their creativity or however bring value to your business.
Yep. Yep.
Cool.
Excellent. Well, thank you, Tam, for such a interesting, grounded, and thoughtful conversation. I hope people got something out of it. I think you should. At least it gives a starting point to ask questions. To do the groundwork that you need to do if you are starting a business or you're in a business and it's not running properly. So yeah, what sort of stood out for me is that, you know, financial wellness isn't just about the numbers person, or building, you know, a massive business. It's about understanding your money, having that emotional side, to be able to make those clear decisions. So, to be able to lead with confidence.
Absolutely.
Is what it's about.
Yes.
Creating a business that really supports your life, not one that drains it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So
I think that's the biggest thing in this financial side. So for anyone listening who has ever felt overwhelmed, unsure when it comes to finances, this conversation is a reminder that confidence is built through understanding and not perfection.
Absolutely.
So if you want to learn more about Tam, you can find her through Sense and Solution. I'll also include LinkedIn as well. So I'll include the show in the show notes, the links to be able to contact Tam if you feel the need to ask more questions, or just connect with her and see what she's up to. If this episode resonates with you, then please share it with someone who's doing work worth doing, but could use a little bit more clarity or calm around their money, their business. Help them out. Until next time, take care and keep doing work worth doing.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Bye.
Tam.